Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Insider Secrets to StemRenu today. It's so great to be on and back in motion with everyone. My name is Tina Johnson, and with me is Dr. Chris Morris, and we are the co-formulators for StemRenu. And when we created StemRenu, we wanted to do something that was different, that was profoundly different to help humanity. And with our background in wellness, it was a great opportunity for us to bring forward some of the most advanced technology in what we call renewal science. So, Chris, welcome.
Thank you, Tina, and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us. Over the years, some 50 plus years on our combined experience, we've been very fortunate to have been trained by some of the best practitioners and educators in the world as far as how medicine is conveyed and how the body works. And I know, Tina, you've interviewed many of these avatars in healthcare on your radio and TV show that broadcasts throughout the Midwest in the United States from Minneapolis, St. Paul area. But our training has spanned the fields of energy medicine with traditional Chinese medicine and homeopathy, orthomolecular medicine and functional medicine that deals with the metabolic processes, how the body works with its biochemistry, and of course the many modalities that we've been trained in within naturopathy that allowed us to really understand how to get the best ingredients and how to have those function within the body. So it's exciting to be here with everyone, and let's get started here and talk about StemRenu.
Sounds great. Oh, did I lose you, Chris?
No, I'm just looking for the next slide.
It is. What is renewal science?
Renewal science, exactly. This is where we started to incorporate a whole new dynamic into nutritional science. Most of our approach has been always working with the biological systems and how the body is designed to deal with nutrition and the biochemistry, but we call that the metabolic U. That's how we work and integrate food and nutrition. But there's more than the metabolic U. There's the stem cell U, and that involves the stem cell system, and very few people understand this system. And this is what really makes a difference for us to introduce StemRenu, because it works specifically on this stem cell system, and we call it renewal science. And the difference is that it allows the body not just to be fortified, but to actually repair and regenerate itself. When you look at the two pictures of the hand here, when you were a baby, your skin cells had remarkable capabilities to regenerate and renew. And that same blueprint or that same design and information is in your skin cell at the age of 60, but the skin surely looks different. And what's the difference? The difference is that we've been depleted, we've been reduced in our signaling molecules that facilitate this regeneration and repair as if we were young again. And this is what we found and we're introducing with StemRenu. We're introducing those signal molecules that have been reduced with age and stress, and allows our body to recognize its full potential for not just being 80 and 85, but to be 120 and 130. Tina, do you want to share a little more on that?
You did great, Chris. Other than, when we look at, we've been talking about our potential at 80. We're even pushing 120. I think that we can even go further when we're talking about the incredible products that we have with renewal science, with StemRenu, but also the entire orchestra that we have with all of the the other products with NHT. So we're going to get into those as well.
Great.
So let's talk about what we have here with NHT Global. We have the best with renewal science. Again, like Dr. Chris was talking about, we address what we call regeneration and repair of the body like no other product does on the market. What we mean by that is we have the ability to launch and access a part of our system that we've never had before, and that is the renewal system. And so with that in tandem, where we've been focused in the past is primarily on replenishment, and this is because science had to catch up. And so when we were, to give you an example, let's say that you're deficient in vitamin C. Well, what happens? You end up with scurvy, or a lot of things happen when we end up deficient. And so our process as practitioners in the past has really been focusing on what are we depleted in, how can we replenish ourselves, and that brings us back to a certain level of health. But when you integrate what we have with the renewal science part of this, the activation of our stem cells, being able to utilize all of that replenishment nutrition even more efficiently, you now have something that is incredibly powerful.
That's so great, Tina. I think the takeaway here is that, everyone needs to see this diagram and say that there's the metabolic U that deals with replenishment, and then there's the stem cell U that deals with the stem cell system, and this is where billions of dollars are now being invested by regenerative medicine to research this science that we have available in StemRenu. So let's talk about how it works. Here's what it looks like from outside the cell. This is a cross-section of a cell, and you see all these tiny purple and gold and yellow molecules floating in the bloodstream, and they attach to the surface of the cell, and you see these many receptor sites. There's thousands of them that extend outside the cell surface, and they're looking for the information to signal to allow the communication to happen for proper function, proper repair, proper renewal. And these are the signals that we were talking about that reduce through aging and through stress and trauma that we experience throughout life. Now here's what it looks like inside the cell. When you see that signal attached to the receptor site on the surface, then the communication goes within the cell, and here's where the magic happens. This is where we stimulate the stem cell activity. It's not just the activation of the stem cell, but it's the production of stem cells. It's the release of those stem cells. And once they're released throughout the body, they are activated. And this is the magic of the stem cell, where it allows it to do all its wonderful things that we'll talk about. But I want everyone to see that these signaling molecules that are on the surface determine what goes on inside the cell to heal, repair, to make new, to die, to do all the many miraculous functions that go on every second of our lives, hundreds of thousands of times. So we want to talk about the magic that happens in the stem cell system. So this is what you see on the cell. Go ahead, Tina.
Right, and Dr. Chris, what happens when our cell is healthy? Everything
when
is
the cells,
yeah, right.
Yeah, when everything's healthy, that's when we reach that biological potential. But most of us don't realize what health really means. It means that we have the incredible energy and vitality far beyond what we've been trained or we've experienced in the medical system.
And when our cells are healthy, our organs are healthy. When our organs are healthy, our systems are healthy. So when we can get to this very cellular level of health and wellness, like never before, then our entire system becomes healthy and in balance again.
So here's what happens with the stem cell. This is how it works with StemRenu. It has the ability to activate this stem cell system, and the stem cell is really the fountain of youth, and why it's being studied so intensively everywhere in the world. I mean, medical science is just enamored now with stem cell technology. And just a few years ago, there were maybe a half a dozen clinics in the United States that did stem cell therapies. You could count them on your hands. But now today, there's actually hundreds and thousands of clinics where doctors are implementing stem cell therapy. And the reason is that a stem cell has the capability to differentiate into any other type of tissue in the body. So if you have stem cells available, they can turn into muscle cells, bone cells, fat cells, cartilage, liver, kidney, whatever it takes. They are responsible for signaling your immune system to go into repair and activation. And the magic of the stem cell is not only does it do all these wonderful things of signaling and communication and differentiation, it replicates its own self, so it goes back into a stem cell pool or a bank so that it can be there available when that signaling happens appropriately. So the key here is not just the stem cell itself, but it's the signaling to that stem cell that allows it to do all its wonderful things.
And you mentioned the stem cell bank. What's interesting is as we age, that stem cell bank, it reduces, because when we don't create another stem cell, that bank starts to decline. So as we, take StemRenu and we activate our stem cells, we can keep that pool completely full, or right. And so that's what's wonderful about this. And we don't really get into that much, but that's something that we all need to kind of think about with our stem cells, is we want them to activate.
And why we take it every day. I know for us, we want to continue to, exercise that stem cell system and allow it to continue to replenish, as well as be ready to go into action whenever it's needed.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the ingredients, and they matter. Ingredients are so important when we're talking about what we're going to be putting into our bodies. We need to have the best, we need to have the safest, we need to have the most, efficacious ingredients. And all of these ingredients, these 5 ingredients, are extremely safe. What's important to know about these ingredients is that they are therapeutic in nature because of the proprietary processes that we use in order to bring these ingredients to the market. They're all synergistically formulated in the right combination and the right concentration to really work at not only stem cell production, but we have the stem cell release and we have the stem cell activation, which is what we'll get into greater detail as well. But when we look at these ingredients, they've been used for thousands and thousands of years. They're foods, again, that are very safe, but therapeutic and efficacious in nature.
Well, it's so true, Tina, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you say that it requires the right amount, the right environment, the synergy of this specific ingredients, and there's nothing else that's ever been introduced in all the years that we've been in nutritional science that allows the body to not just produce and release stem cells, but activate them, and that's very key. It's that activation process, and I think we have a very special ingredient we need to focus on to tell that story.
Absolutely. And that's the amazing avian egg. And this is one of our key ingredients in our formula because it's been so wonderful in the activation of those stem cells that we're talking about here. And it's because we have pre-embryonic signal proteins. And what that means is that we have these incubated, fertilized eggs. And because they are fertilized and incubated for up to 10 days, there's a high concentration of these signal molecules, these proteins that are responsible for signaling to activate our stem cells. So we have the ability to capture all of these in a food and for us to be able to ingest them to activate our own stem cells. Now, the reason why we buy this directly from Norway and we source this from Norway is because of the pristine environment in Norway. All of the hens are, basically from Norway. They're Norwegian hens, and this farm does everything organically. And that's really important because when you think about the types and the quality of food, if you were to source this egg and try to get it somewhere else in the world, especially here in the United States, you couldn't get it because the fertilization and the incubation can happen in Norway because they don't have something called salmonella in their country. So once we extract that egg protein, what we can do is go through a process where we can keep those proteins pure without denaturing them, which is really incredibly important. The other thing is that in most places in the world, you have to vaccinate those chicks, those little chickens, anywhere from 12 to 22 times. In Norway, you only have to vaccinate once, and that's true for every chicken that is commercially, if you sell the eggs commercially in the world. So very important to know that it's sourced authentically from Norway. Chris, do you have anything that you want to add?
No, just that when we introduce this to the doctors that we've started to work with that actually do stem cell therapies themselves, they recognize these very unique signal proteins that we access with this ingredient, and they're excited about working with it to actually have maintenance for their patients after they receive the stem cell therapy.
Yeah. And so what that means is that for all of you, when somebody is paying so much and they're investing so much in their health with their stem cell therapy with these doctors, they are looking at this to help maintain and actually keep that stem cell therapy going after their treatment. So it's pretty profound.
What's some of the proof that we've seen how this works to really help the body stay young?
Well, one of the things that the avian egg has been proven to do and clinically proven to do is to target and lower those cortisol levels. And cortisol is becoming very popular now because what we're hearing and learning about with cortisol is that it's the stress hormone. And so the more stress that we have, the more that cortisol level is raised. And I do have to say that, we talk to, thousands of people, Chris, and anywhere in the world, the same thing they all tell us is that, we have stress. And stress is coming at us in so many different ways. We not only have our physical, but we have our mental stress, we have our emotional stress. All of it is so multidimensional, and it all sends that cortisol to a very, very high level in the body. So with taking StemRenu, you can literally bring down those cortisol levels, and it helps you to mediate that stress. And what that means is it helps you to balance that stress. So when we're in this chronic stress cycle, and cortisols are high, what happens is we can break down our collagen 10 times faster. So we accelerate our aging. All of our blood sugar can get disrupted. Our pH levels can turn into very acidic levels in the body. We rob ourselves of energy levels when our cortisols are high. It totally compromises our energy. And people today are saying, I have no energy, I have fatigue. So we see a lot of people that can shift their energy levels. And we also, excrete some of the crisis hormones that help us to store that fat around the belly. And it also, some of these harmful accelerated extreme hormones, what they can do is they can help burn muscle in the body, and that's not good. We want to be able to keep our muscle in our body because that keeps us healthy as well. So a lot of the things that StemRenu does, gives people the opportunity to be able to handle their day much better. And it's just been amazing. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Chris?
I think it's obvious when we all just take a look around and we see what's happening in our culture. We see more beauty spas setting up to deal with the wrinkles because of the breakdown of the collagen. We see clinics for handling blood sugar irregularities that are rampant, an epidemic, not just here in the United States, but all over the world. Coffee shops on every corner in the cities because of people looking for more energy levels. We see weight loss programs on TV and radio and the newspapers just popping up everywhere because of people dealing with their fat stores and their excess weight that they want to get rid of. So everything that we're introducing with StemRenu addresses these areas that show that our culture today is declining in these areas that stress is causing, and we have a solution. This is something that, you can just talk to your neighbor and help them understand. Just look around you and you'll see what's really going on and what the future portends, and we have something to help for that.
Absolutely.
So another key ingredient that goes hand in hand with the very unique avian egg extract is our aloe vera gel extract. And this is a very unique form of aloe vera. Aloe vera is the potted physician. It's been known for thousands of years in every culture to be the healer, but its healing properties are in fresh aloe vera, and this extract is as close to fresh aloe vera as you can get, as next to just going in your backyard and cutting an aloe vera plant leaf and using it direct. So when you have this form of aloe vera introduced into your body every day, you're exercising your immune system. And what does your immune system do? It helps to release the stem cells within your body. So you're activating a very unique and natural process that allows you to heal and repair. But again, the key is not just releasing those stem cells, which other ingredients have been known to do. It's the activation. So when you pair this very unique aloe vera with the avian egg extract, you've got the release and the activation hand in hand going on at the same time with every time you take StemRenu.
You bring up a really great point. When we were in Norway and we were talking to the egg producers, it was very interesting for them. They have obviously as much access to the egg as anybody, and they were taking it for themselves, just as the egg alone, to try to help with back issues or pain and inflammation and some of the other things that were challenging in their family. They couldn't figure out why they weren't getting the great results. So it's quite interesting once they started taking StemRenu with the combination of the other 4 ingredients, they had instant results. So it's not about just one of these ingredients standalone, it's about the combination of all of them and the therapeutic nature of all of them.
And the beauty is that we have the clinical studies on each of these ingredients, how the egg reduces stress and how the aloe activates the immune system. And then we combined it with a third ingredient that also has its unique clinical studies that show how it has the ability to not just slow down the degeneration of bones, but to actually repair and rebuild bone structure. So when you have the bones repair and rebuild, guess what? That's where your body makes its stem cells. The stem cell system resides in the bone marrow. So when we tell you we have the formula that allows for the production of those stem cells, which is happening inside your bone marrow, and the release of those stem cells that is facilitated with the aloe vera and the other ingredients, and the activation, this is how it happens. This is what has excited everyone around the world where we've communicated in China and Hong Kong and South America and Europe and throughout the United States and Canada and now in Mexico. People are so enamored about how these ingredients individually are very special and unique, but when combined together, they're providing this incredible stem cell system support that's very unique to NHT's formulations.
Exactly. And some of the other key things about this marine mineral complex is that it's 97% absorbable. And that's very important because today we see everything calcium enriched everywhere, but it's not the amount of calcium that you need. It's the type of calcium that you need. Actually, people all over the world are being over-calcified with the wrong calcium, and it's actually causing more problems, more joint pain, more issues. And so when you can take a calcium like our marine mineral complex in StemRenu, it it not only helps with the bones, but it helps with the synergistic use of all of the other ingredients.
So what have we learned when people start taking StemRenu?
Well, so many people have so many different experiences because, like you mentioned, Chris, each one of these ingredients has clinical studies that go with them that create amazing benefits. But one of the things that people ask is, well, if I take this, will it help with this? Well, we want to make sure that everybody knows that, by taking StemRenu, we need to make sure that you understand that you're not treating, preventing, or curing, or diagnosing any diseases, and we don't want to even get into those kind of topics. But when you have something that shows up in your body that is like a symptom, just think of it so simply as this, no matter what it is, that you're out of balance. And so because StemRenu works on all of those systems, you can really experience some great key benefits. And what we've seen pretty consistently is that, we have people that have excellent sleep that starts to happen. And why does this work? It's because when we have that cortisol production, when we have that excess cortisols, what happens is it robs us of our good hormones, those great sleep hormones. So as soon as we can break that cortisol cycle with StemRenu, we can move into a more deep sleep, more restful sleep, so we can wake up more refreshed. We also can counter effects of stress. Again, when we can mediate stress by reducing the cortisols, we can handle stress better. You can be more calm through your day. Your stress isn't going to go away, but how you handle it is going to be something that keeps that stress hormone down. It also helps with faster recovery. Athletes love this, Chris, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. This helps them not only to recover faster, but to build stronger and faster and have more endurance. So it meets all the criteria they're looking for.
Absolutely. And then we also, with our marine mineral complex, we help support the joint and bone health, which again is very critical for where we need to have our stem cells made. And then again, when we can reduce that cortisol, when we can balance our good hormones in our body, we can increase energy and endurance.
Tina, when we were traveling in China, they really value the benefits of nutritional science. And we found one product that had the studies for just pain and inflammation, and it cost $1,200 for 60 capsules. So when you see a product that can do so many things beyond what's out there, individuals are investing tens of thousands of dollars in stem cell therapies at the clinics around the world. They're spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars a year in nutritional products that only do a fraction of what we're seeing with StemRenu. So you really bring up something very special when you can incorporate all these wonderful benefits, and most importantly is energy. Energy is what everyone's looking for because it's the key, and maybe we can share a little bit more on that, what that means.
Right. And we've all thought, even Chris and I thought, that, wow, we lose, energy as we age. But the truth is that we can still produce energy when we age. It's because we lose the ability to make energy, and that's why we age. So you have a supplement, a whole food supplement with StemRenu that can help your body to start making energy again. And that's really important because as you start to make energy again, that slows the effects of aging.
Exactly, the proof's in the pudding.
Hmm.
And how do you take StemRenu? It's very simple. 1 to 2 capsules a day, first thing in the morning. Start your day off with this wonderful support that's going to activate your stem cell system, reduce your stress levels because you have the ability to handle stress more efficiently. And we like to, again, emphasize that this is a product that is composed of foods. So these are foods that are very safe and they've been consumed by all ages for thousands of years. And the support that's there is felt not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. So you see this full spectrum of support that happens with the individual looking for more energy, looking for better sleep, looking for ways to counteract the effects of stress that they have to deal with every day. And a lot of times, we understand the stress we're under when, we have a tough job or in relationship and dealing with our day-to-day responsibilities. But there's so much unknown stress or involuntary stress that we have to deal with when we have low-grade infections in the body, when we have some type of chronic degenerative condition. Your body's always under stress trying to balance, heal, and repair. And what Tina mentioned is that, the key to StemRenu is it brings the body to balance at its core level, at the cellular level. So that's where that communication goes on, and the cells make up the tissue make up the organs make up the systems. And this is where, conventional medicine will just look at the breakdown at the system and not really get to that core underlying issue that exists on the cell. So when we take StemRenu every day to deal with the stressors and the issues that we have, we're facilitating and bringing back this balance that allows us to heal, repair, and regenerate.
Exactly. And those stressors are cumulative. When we look at our day and we look at all of the things that we are exposed to, we have to keep in mind that even though we can't see it, it's still a stressor. Or even sometimes the water we drink might not be so pure, or some of the foods that we ingest might not be so great for us. So all of these things are stressors. And so even to just maintain our health, taking StemRenu will help us to just maintain what we currently have as well. So it's not for people that are feeling like they're completely out of balance. It's also being able to maintain. So 1 to 2 capsules a day minimum is optimal. And the more stress you have, the more that you can take, and it's safe because it's a whole food supplement.
Tina, here's to wrap things up here. It's really important to repeat that we're supporting the body with these signal proteins, these signal molecules, and they act like an architect. We need to see them like a composer of this giant symphony that goes on in the body. And when you combine this architectural design, this composer that has access to all the wonderful building blocks that are available in the other NHT products, you're able to have those flexible, malleable cell surfaces that are created by the essential fatty acids. You have the incredible antioxidant support and anti-inflammatory support that comes from the elixirs, the juices, the noni juice, and the other juices that NHT has. The building blocks from the triotein, the electrolyte balancing effects of the Restore product, the glucosamine that is another wonderful product that has the building blocks to support your structure and your tissue integrity. So when you take these wonderful building blocks that are created at the highest level, like StemRenu, and incorporate them with the architect, then you have the best of renewal and the best of replenishment. So we love what's happening with those that have discovered the combination of StemRenu and the other NHT products, and we've been excited ourselves in being able to enjoy the benefits of all these different products.
We take the full range every day. So we want to thank you so much for being on with us and have an excellent, excellent day.
Bye now.